Going live in a moment. Hi there, we are now live on Facebook. Let me just live on Instagram. Connecting. We're now live. Hi there. Hi, friends and family, and whomever is able to connect. We're very happy to be back with a very strong topic that we felt addressing by now, which is anxiety and how to overcome anxiety in nowadays era. So I have invited together for this panel two beautiful experts that we have been working together and shedding the light. Samira, a rapid transformational therapy master, as well as Nadia, who's an SRT, spiritual response therapist, as well as Reiki master, and as well as myself, as you've seen me before quite a few times, wellness expert, practicing hypnotherapy and energy healing and so on. And we'd like to shed the light in whatever possible way around this topic of anxiety. Hi ladies, how are you doing? How are you feeling right now?
Good.
Sorry.
Are you referring to us? You're talking.
Yes, we're doing great.
Yeah, I would like to say that we've been tested. So anxiety has been tested just now with some technical issues, with the Zoom not responding for some reason. So luckily the meditation has been quite helpful. We meditated just before this live, and we're in, I believe, in a quite good zone right now.
Yes.
So once again, it proves that meditation works.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes. Breathing and meditation absolutely works. Yes. Very powerful.
Yes.
A beautiful connection.
So ladies, I would like to hear a little bit about your story and more into what's happening in the current lockdown.
Sorry.
No worries. So, Nadia.
Yeah. To start with, like since we are on the topic of anxiety, a lot of anxiety is there. Like the first 2 weeks with the lockdown, I was all right, didn't really feel much about it. But it's after the 2 weeks, it started to slowly affect me in a way, because everywhere you hear and feel and see that, okay, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And the fear and okay, how are we going to handle this situation and that situation? And no matter how, and then I also realized that with the 2 weeks I took, I was not practicing, but I was like my meditation, my SRT, I was not doing that. Slowly, my shield started to break down, because we have like 70,000 thoughts per day. And then most of the thoughts are from the other people. But like, let's say I have my mom here, she's always worrying about things. So that when it started to affect me, then I realized, okay, now I have to, I remembered, okay, let's go back to meditation. When I started to do the meditation, then I remembered that, hey, I've been through something similar, because my experience is, I will share something personal, that I used to suffer from depression a long time back. So, and then how it got me into meditation and how it helped me. So this is what all of us are going to share. It's not that something we just, we picked up and we read about it. It's something more like I can say, I can vouch for all of us, that all of us have experienced something somewhere and another, and we have practiced it, and it works. So yes, and today I'm really happy because we have started to connect and start to talk, because as human beings, we are social beings. So it's a must that we stay connected. This is one of the reasons of anxiety, that sometimes we are shy to ask for help or connect with our friends. So always, we are here to help. People can always call in and say, hey, they don't have to book in for a session. They can just simply call in and say, I need to talk to someone. So talking really helps. It really relieves half of the pain. So this is my take on this for now. I'm going to give chance to other people to talk. Samira, yes.
So for me, anxiety, look, I mean, we started off the year really strong. Economy is growing. We all thought that, 2020 was going to be a year for transformation. I think that nobody really expected the transformation that we're going through right now, this level of transformation. My previous career was as an economist, so I used to forecast demand shocks or shocks in the economy and predict these kind of things. But there was nothing like, you can never ever predict anything like what's been happening. And I think that initially, obviously, it was people were obviously shocked and concerned, and obviously we all have been. And then obviously we wanted to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves at home. And I think maybe in the beginning, maybe it's a novel thing and stuff, but as time has gone on, there's been more and more anxiety around it. And then because of the uncertainty as well. And obviously, touching on points like pay cuts and unpaid leave. Some people have lost their jobs as well. People are sharing homes with people, their partners. There's issues going there, having to homeschool children as well. With everything, there's a lot going on all at the same time. So it's being homeschooling and being with your partner. And I have clients and people who are, having difficulty with all of that as well. And then there are people who I would have thought that, may be able to handle this, but because this is so unusual, because it's has happened at such a large scale, I think there's no one untouched. There's no way anyone could be untouched by this. And it's really now really taking care of ourselves, making sure that we are really taking care of ourselves. Initially, some people could be able to do Netflix and comfort eat, or have some form of an escape in some way, cigarettes, or something to soothe ourselves. And maybe it was novel in the beginning to take some time out. But I think as time goes on, it's becoming more and more stressful. And I think for me, the calls I'm getting, messages I get from people, people are becoming more and more afraid, having more anxiety, and it's affecting them. And obviously that's why we're doing this webinar. And I know lots of people who have been doing things to help individuals to cope with this better. I think that to understand this is one story I'd like to share, and is really going back 20 years ago, where there was a recession, and my father was a businessman, and it happened very overnight, where in the UK, because I'm from the UK, interest rates went up twice in one day in 1991, and subsequently there was a recession. Overnight, things just changed overnight, and it had a huge negative impact on the economy. Of course, people's mortgage payments, debt repayments, anything and everything, and that was a huge shock for the economy at the time. And personally, for me, my parents had owned a hotel in central London, and meant that the mortgage payments, obviously the interest payments on the business had gone up, and to pay supplies and things. And the stress of all of that had a huge negative impact. Unfortunately, my father, and unfortunately I lost my father through a heart attack because of the stress of it all, which was a shock, obviously. And I was about 25, but it was a real shock. And I for many years onwards, I really thought about how I would make sure that, a child or somebody who's loved is not lost like that, just pure stress. And I think one of the reasons why we're doing this webinar and talking a lot more about this is the fact that, right now things are really scary. And as time goes on, things have been scary. We're having good news that, numbers are coming down, or, we're one of the safest countries around the world right now. So we're blessed in that sense. But the thing is, there's still anxiety, there's stress, there's uncertainty about jobs, about or people have lost their jobs and what's going to happen. And I think, particularly the men in the family who are the main breadwinners, and that's not being sexist, it's like a lot of expats are here because the male partners are here. We as women have come over and are working as well. But a lot of families are here as the men are the main breadwinners. And I think there are a lot of guys out there who are feeling very nervous, very stressed. They have children, they have responsibilities, they have their families to take care of. And there's a lot of anxiety around that. They may be waiting to hear that they've had pay cuts, or they may be losing their job or they're on paid leave. So I think one thing that I think we need to be mindful of is to make sure that we're taking care of making sure that our husbands, our partners, our brothers, our friends, all of those guys, we ask them, are they okay? Because I'm getting a lot of calls from friends, even male friends of mine, who are finding it very difficult with the situation and feeling very nervous. Of course, women and children are being affected as well. And they have other issues on how they manage these situations. But I think we need to be mindful of the fact that the guys out there are feeling really scared, and they may not even be able to express it, and they're very scared. I mean, just before this call, I just got a message from a guy who wants to try and have a session with me. So I'm having a lot of male clients contacting me. And so we just need to make sure that, we be kind. Obviously, we're being kind to everyone and making sure we're kind and loving to everyone we come across, because we're all going through this. My thing is that obviously, and taking care of, and we're doing breathing exercises, we're doing meditation, and we have to make sure we're doing that. But also reframing this whole situation, what's going on, is about the mindset and change, reframing that, yes, this is a very scary time for some and for all of us, or unsettling or uncertain. But equally, and how we're going to pay mortgages or debt repayments or pay for kids' schooling or whatever it is, to first and foremost say, you know what, I'm okay. My family's healthy. I'm healthy. We're together. We're under lockdown. My children are here with me. My wife is here with me. My husband's here with me. And that we have this connection, and we're going to be okay no matter what. We as a unit are going to weather the storm and get through this. So, and the thing is that, as I said, as an economist, 20 years ago, when the recession happened, or when there was a demand shock, it happened in one particular economy, or it happened in Europe. And okay, the country knew what they had to do and had to support people, but it wasn't the same as what is happening now. There's a lot of bank stimulus, the country is supporting us, the governments are supporting us. Everyone is aware here and everywhere else in the world of what is happening. They're not exactly hiding on a rock. So unless you're hiding on a rock, that you're fully aware. And so when we're actually going to have potential discussions with banks or debt repayments or whatever it is, or schools or fees and things, they're all going to know and understand what the situation is. So, if there's any fear around, payments or money or anything like that, there's always going to be a solution. What's more important and what we really need to focus on is our mental health. Our mental health first and foremost, and our well-being has to take precedent at this moment. Before any money, any job, anything else, we have to make sure that each one of us is healthy and well, no matter what is happening. And as a unit, these families, feeling strong and resilient, saying, yes, we're going to get through this. It's a bit rocky, but we're going to get through this, and we're going to get on the other side. And so that is really the kind of message that I'm trying to convey here today, because, with a number of calls, messages I'm getting, and I'm sure you guys have as well, there's a lot of people who are worried or stressed, and there's also, and that's just that the work situation, but there's also about living with your partner, and if your relationship is good and healthy, is it and I'm also getting messages of some people. I had one message from somebody who's been on his own for quite some time, hasn't been married ever. And he says, I think now, he called me up late at night and said, I think, Samira, I think I've decided that now I'm going to get married. After this lockdown, I'm going to find myself somebody and settle down. I said, well, I hope you find something that you get on with, you know, and not just find anyone. So, you know, there's realizations, or there's also people I've spoken to who are thinking, you know, this lockdown has made me realize that, you know, I've given my best in this relationship, and I think this is not going to be something that I want to sustain in the future. So there's realizations, there's lots of other things that are coming up from here. And maybe there has been the opportunity here is the fact that we're having, you know, reflection and realizations. And that's something that's good is going to come out of that, because at the end of the day, we're moving forward, we're growing, we're developing. But in terms of the anxiety, as I said, I think it's really important that people reframe how they're seeing everything, and really taking care of their mind and their body and their complete emotional well-being, their mental well-being, making sure that they have gratitude for what they have, and start from that energy and say, okay, at least I have my family, I have my wife, or I have my children, or I have this, or I have that. And from that energy, think, okay, how am I going to tackle this situation? It's scary, it's ugly, or whatever it is for some people or everyone, but it's just that we have to tackle it. And from that space, I would encourage people to come from that space, and really take care of our friends and family and strangers and say, are you okay? Really asking, are you okay? How are you? Because, you know, even I was kind of assuming, you know, some of my friends were fine. And then I was finding out from them, they're saying that they were not fine. And then I realized that I have to keep asking, are you okay today? How are you? And I think we need to all do that and come from a place of love and kindness, and compassion. So that's what I would say today.
Yeah, building on that, and thank you for sharing, ladies. It's about the anxiety and changing the mindset, as you were saying, Samira. Very important to just bring in my insight around, since all this happened, and observing my mechanism as a human being. So yes, first is attending the survival mode, like making sure that everything is okay. And I mentioned like that I'm a mother and I'm a wife, and making sure that the household is maintained and everyone is safe, and as well as, you know, being in charge as a business woman and having employees, making sure that my staff is safe and
yes,
in a safe hands. So like the way you cope up, we all have these survival instincts that are there to work out for us. So we have so many assets within ourselves, yet we need to find out and figure it out and observe and understand these mechanisms as they are there to serve us. So observe that to be able to make sure to minimize the fear by just addressing the basic needs and making sure that you have what you can survive and make sure that you can live with, and acknowledge that and focus your attention on it, and expressing gratitude and thankfulness for what you have, the people you love around you that are safe, as you were saying, and having the basic needs and everything that they need, they're healthy. So banking also on the fact that we are healthy, and the most and foremost important thing is our immunity towards the situation that we're facing. And in order to boost our immunity, our mental health is very important. So when the fear comes along, I think the whole emotion as such is maximum length, duration of an emotion is 2 minutes maximum. So how can we just deal with it with tools that will help us to know how to live with this? So for instance, for me, anxiety is an expression of the moments it's a signal of what do we need right here, right now, at that particular moment. Mm-hmm. And the ability of decoding that language and understanding the signal and being able to attend it with so many tools that we are ready right here, right now, for the much that we can share over this panel, and obviously being there also for you, dear community, at the later stage, and guiding you through the process for whomever is in need on tools that are there to help us address those peaks, those signals that are there to help us go through it, and seeing it from a perspective of inner healing. It's a self-healing, and we're all healers. It's all within us. The difference is, have you activated, have you worked on it? Did you figure it out? And unfold this beautiful treasure that we all have within ourselves, and how we can reach out to this. So yes, anxiety is a communication. It's basically a mayday call. It's a big megaphone calling for help, and being able to decode this language and addressing it and chunk it down, because obviously you cannot, you know, handle it all at once. We are in a certain time that might not have, you know, the resolution or the direct solution to the problem, but by chunking it down and living in the moment, because each moment counts. And that's the testing time to actually address the fact that, how about being in the here and now, and make the best possible each moment, and live the experience and grow over that experience, develop our inner strength to be able to step the next step forward, and also discover and unfold our inner abilities that we all have. And unless we are tested, we wouldn't know how capable we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why I jumped right away. Sorry.
Go ahead.
That's why I jumped right away on the meditation and practice part, is because for those who don't know it, they can simply start to learn or listen, because the word you said, here and now, it makes me think that whomever is going through, even if they don't know anything about the spirituality, they can start off with, just for today. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be, you know, grateful. And as you said, this is the thought we have to come back to, that, hey, yes, I've lost my job, or how am I going to pay the bills, or the danger is out there, but I am, and my family is healthy and happy, like Samira said. So we have to constantly be in gratitude and have complete faith in the divine, that, okay, you know, whatever, I leave everything on you. So everything is going to be planned out, whatever the divine wants. And just trust in that and continue. As for meditation tips, we can share different techniques we can do. As for the one I said about the Reiki, these are the Reiki affirmations. Just for today, I will be happy. Look at something that makes you happy. Do like a gazing meditation. Is to be in here and now, and tell that if any different thoughts are coming in, okay, not now. So these are the, you know, little tips that would help you in order to be, you know, to release that anxiety or stress or those overthinking, the monkey mind. So yeah, that's my take on that.
I would like to ask you, what was it, what did this lockdown wake up within you as to share with the community?
Who wants to start?
For me, I was more like observing and being more grateful, and made me realize that so many things I was taking for granted, even friends, like I would put off things, but like now I'm making sure that I stay in touch. Yeah, it's mostly like to appreciate life. Yeah.
For me, I think, yes. I mean, I think it's just learning. I mean, I always go at 100 miles an hour anyway. So I think it forced me to slow down. And really also the amount of waste, I think the excessiveness, even though I'm not excessive, I think we just carry on becoming excessive. I mean, like every day Starbucks, this and the other, restaurants here, there. And, you know, we don't need a lot. I mean, you know, I eat very simply anyway. I have a lot of certain practices I have, but I was just observing how I was living in the run up to this. And I'm thinking, my God, I think we all just needed, maybe I needed a reset. It's just like everything just got too excessive, I think. Not excessive, but, you know, excessive in my range. And I just thinking, you know, we just need to slow down, think and reflect. I mean, it was an opportunity, a perfect opportunity for me to spend time to reflect and take care of myself. Because again, when we are always out there, because I could be doing my work for 16-hour days, but the thing is that, you know, sometimes obviously I'm not taking care of myself to the same level I should do. And I think I was forced to, and I have been more so. I mean, I have my routines, but I think it was just more an opportunity for more self-care. I was observing a lot of what was happening. And I've also been observing lots of different things that happening both sides of news, of what should be doing. Is this right? Is this wrong? You know, lots of people saying lots of different, having both sides of the story. And for me, I think that it's about really focusing, because we have to be very careful what our thoughts are things. We know that, right? As therapists, what we think, we create. It's energy, and this has been measured scientifically as well, right? Dr. Bruce Lipton's done this. You know, so there's activity that they can measure, that outside the brain there's activity, which means that it's about vibration. And I was listening to another gentleman and talking. He was a mental conditioning coach for the sport, for the elite athletes, and he was saying how they've done a lot of research, and how, you know, thinking something negative and then saying it out negative is like it has an impact 40 or 70 times more than anything positive. So we have to be very, and that's a given for us, wouldn't it? We know that we shouldn't be saying anything negative or thinking that, because we can create that, right? Because we have a human amazing brain that we can manifest and create anything we want to. So another story I have is related to this. When I observed what people were saying, being mindful and realizing that a lot of my friends also were going through being affected. And really it's me realizing, first, what for me, it's been about self-care and slowing down, and then being completely of service to everyone else that I can be. It's just, you know, one thing I realized and one thing I'm focusing on is like 2020 is still going to be a year that I'm going to make happen. And I think it's just like our minds can focus on wherever we want to, right? So we could be spending time on the news, and even just a few minutes of the news can actually create anxiety. So I don't even bother watching the news. And we know the story. We know exactly what's happening. We just need to know as and when things can open up and we can do the things we want to do. But it was also, I think it's very important that we focus on what we want to create by the end of the year, where we want to be, irrespective of the uncertainty. We have to learn, I think, to be certain within uncertainty, to be comfortable within the certainty. And the more we do that, the more we're going to be okay with it, because that's what the fear is uncertainty, right? But if we become certain with the uncertainty, then you'll feel much more at peace, or have some level of peace, and then say, okay, this is what's happening right now. This is out of my control. And what we can do now is to take the power back to some level. So as I said, we're actually managing ourselves, how to take care of ourselves. And I said to you, like, reframing is another way of how can we look at the situation, what's important, what we're grateful for, but also where do we want to be by the end of the year? What do I had some goals, and obviously they've been derailed to some level, but what can I go off and achieve by the end of the year? And focus on that. You know that our brains are focused on goals. And the thing is that rather than focusing on the uncertainty of what's happening, is focusing on what you want to achieve by the end of the year. Irrespective of where you are right now, it could be, there have been businesses have been closed, people are on paid leave, or people are fear of they may be made redundant. Irrespective of all of that, you can still come up with something that you can focus on. And that's the focus you have. And being grateful, positive, and thinking like that, and directing your mind that way, I think is going to be extremely powerful. And so for me, yeah, I mean, for me, coming back to this, is that's what I've been doing. So I've continued to take care of myself, being mindful and being of service to everyone else and be observing. And then basically focusing on what I want to achieve by the end of the year, which is serving as many people as I can. But, you know, just focusing on that and not thinking about the news and things. 3 minutes of the news can have has a huge negative impact for the rest of your day. Just 3 minutes. So, you know, we don't need to watch it, because I think we know what's happening. I think we just need to wait and take power back. And so I think, obviously, when I was going through this, obviously we were waiting to hear and waiting to see what's going to happen next. But even myself, I took the power back and said, okay, well, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to achieve these goals by the end of the year. I need to go and do this. You know, health goals, fitness goals, you know, work goals, any goals I have. And I think if you focus on that, you're just in a much calmer, relaxed place. And because, you know, we don't know that once our lockdown's open, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will be out in restaurants again. Things will just completely maybe go back to the way they are, or they build up slowly. But the thing is, things will improve. You know, I think we just need to be more comfortable with the uncertainty and be okay with that, have the gratitude, reframe the whole situation and focus on what we want to go and achieve and be empowered in that way.
And as you're saying, it's it's like a timeout that we've been all offered.
Yes.
That time we could never afford before as professionals, as caretakers and so on. And it's like a retreat, as you're saying, reframing is a good way to see it. Is like, I'm being offered a retreat. Yes, there are repercussions and consequences to this slowdown, and it might affect me one way or another. But as I'm going on and I'm living day by day, I'll take the best to take some time out for myself. The self-care is very, very crucial to be able to actually, you know, boost your positive thinking, observe what's stopping you from being positive, address what I call shadow work, because it's all coming in the surface. The fact that we're in that slowdown and this silence, it's a way to actually listen and hear what's happening within you, and all this negativity is just now, you know, coming out on the surface. And what are you doing about it? And the best way is to hear it, to listen to it, and to allow it to vent out in one way or another. I've heard so many friends that are not mainly working on themselves telling me, I have so much vivid dreams right now. Like, there's a lot going on. I mean, whether you're putting yourself or not, it is happening regardless, because the energy is also shifting. And we are part of the ecosystem, so we are affected one way or another to actually address all these burdens, all this heaviness, all this density that Mother Earth was carrying, that we are right now purging out. And it's not a very pleasant moment, but how about, as you were saying, Samira and Nadia, reframing and resetting and seeing it as, oh, I am doing my dirty laundry right now. I am clearing, you know, the cupboards and decluttering and creating more space for my growth, and focusing on the after, you know, the lockdown, after the quarantine, what's next, because life goes on. And we have been through this in the past, maybe not in the exactly same shape, but we have experience, and our elderly and our ancestors has crossed so many experiences that are there within ourselves. And all these memories and the insights and the experiences are there within ourselves. So we are somehow built up with those insights and those tools that are within ourselves, and we know how to cross this. We just need to trust and let go of the control. A big one, if I'm to ask myself the same question on how this lockdown worked for me, like, the wanting to control, wanting to hold the gear and carry on in a steady way, but there is no control. It's like the biggest learning ever that I could address as of myself is to let go, to surrender. That's a big one, to work on my faith, to be able to actually trust the process, and focus and divert the attention from all these conspiracy theories that are all over the net, as well as the media, as you were saying, and saying, okay, the reality is a reality, but it's also showing us that it's such a big illusion that you can actually create your reality. And the only thing you can actually change, you cannot change others, you cannot change the environment. The only aspect that you can change is yourself. So by all these projections that are happening right here, right now through the media and other platforms, what is it waking up within me, and address them by just hearing them? Of course, tools are there to actually address them at the root cause, and this is what we do to help people. But beside that, it is already showing up. You could actually walk it through by just, you know, doing an exercise, and with the intention, setting the intention of, please, whatever creation, universe, God, whatever you believe in, to help me process all the unnecessary input that are within me, the thoughts, negativity that I'm carrying that I need to let go of during this process of lockdown, to be able to grow over it and live and process this beautiful rebirth, as you were saying, that what's new, what's going to come up. I'm not going to resist to the old. The best way is to also overcome the resistance. That was a big one for me as well, that also woke up the anger of why and who's there, and wanting to seek the you know, the faulty behind it, who's, you know, monitoring all this, and must be a big deal of a theory in the back, you know, processing all that. What's the point? The point is you don't have no control on this. The only thing you can control is yourself, and changing your mindset to be able to actually see what's teaching you. What am I learning from this experience? And I'm actually lucky to be able to witness and be on earth, to live this experience and actually pass on this legacy to my, you know, descendants. And we're going to be marked as in the history. And that's why I would like, and I would love to voice out, and that's the intention of the panels, is really to come about as a human being, beside being a professional or whomever we are, the roles that we play in this life, but share your personal experience towards all this, and really make all the community, whomever is following us right now or later, just to make them feel that they're not alone in this, that we are all in this together, and we're holding the space for each other. And all what we can promise you is being present, and share and shed the light as much as we can. And as you were saying, very, very important element, Samira, is being at service. Very, very important to say, you can reach out to us in whatever way we can. We will help you. And it's wonderful once you put the intention. I'm sure you must have stories about people calling you. I mean, I've lost touch with friends that I didn't get the chance to, you know, keep in touch, and hearing from their, you know, what they're living, reconnecting, having the moment and the time to actually spare time and spend this quality time with your families, with your friends, discover things that you have never get the chance to do. I mean, spending time with the kids and playing and connecting. And this is a precious, sacred time. And one more thing that I would like to share around this quarantine and this issue of the virus is, once, like, it's been, I don't remember the last time where the humanity is focusing in one common problem.
Exactly. It's never happened. Not in our generation. I think it's happened probably in the Spanish flu or whatever, but, or the war, the First World or Second World War. But in our generation, it hasn't happened like this. No.
Yeah, and it hasn't been global, right? It was like certain, whereas here, it's like, it's such a sacred situation and sacred time that we're all sharing together, focusing all in this this situation, and growing through it day by day, because our perspective changes day by day towards the situation. So it is a very precious and crucial time that we are all living, and we are lucky at a soul level to be part of it in one way or another.
I think it's a beautiful, special time during Ramadan as well. I mean, can you not be spiritual any other time? I mean, the most spiritual time ever is right now, right, during Ramadan as well. So while this is happening, so I think it's it's incredible that I think that's really powerful that Ramadan, it happened at a time of during Ramadan. So I'm sure that that's helped a lot of people as well, who are, you know, it helped them, I hope, reset them as well and help them keep them in balance. And yeah, I think that, you know, we've got 3 billion people who have been on lockdown. I think now things may be changing, but 3 billion people on the planet who've been going through this. So as I said, this is unprecedented. And, you know, this is why we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and our loved ones and strangers, anyone, and being kind to everyone forever. Not just at this time, but we should be doing that anyway, but even more so than now. And it's that is really about, you know, reflection, taking care of ourselves, what we want to do. And it's about being a human. Right? I think this is all about being human. Where, as somebody was saying, we're fighting a war against a virus. It's not about another human being. It's actually all humans against a virus. So it is an interesting time. And, you know, one other point is, like, I was talking to a client the other day, and she was very scared and nervous because she may, you know, because she's been hearing about her friends being made redundant. And I said, listen, you don't know what's around the corner for you. Sometimes the universe forces us to be put into situations because we're meant to be growing and developing, going in a different direction. I know for a fact there's twice in my life that I was made redundant for jobs. And I know they were the best thing that ever happened to me. From there, one job, I went into another job, and I spent an amazing 5 years with that other company at a fantastic time. Had I stayed in the previous company, I would not have grown and developed like I had in the second company. So it was an amazing opportunity for me. And the second time it happened, I set up, I set up my own business, and which I was planning anyway, but it just happened, it was accelerated. And again, my life has been incredible, and the growth has been incredible, and I'm following my true path. So, you know, we don't know. And deep down, I think we may have fear, but deep down we have our intuition. I think that what I would ask other people to do also is to really tap into that intuition and that inner voice and clear out the anxiety, the fear, and really see what the inner voice is saying and what to do next, because there's lots of opportunity as well. It's just that we need to be more resourceful now as well. But, you know, globally we've been forced, and there's a reset button that one would say, or the universe has told us, or God or whoever, that we need to think of a different direction. And that comes from a place that we're going to grow. And it may be scary. It may be painful in the beginning if you're not used to it because of the uncertainty. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be very powerful and beautiful. I know, going back into my life, the 50 years of my life, I know where where it's been painful, there's been a lot of growth. And I would never, ever, even the painful thing that I went through losing my father at the age, I mean, I'd love to have him here now, but, you know, there was a reason for that as well. And I've still grown from that. So I think that we may not feel like wanting to do that right now, and some people may not want to do that, but sometimes embracing what we're going through and trying to reframe it in the best way possible to see it differently, so you can move forward, so you can take care of your health, so it's not going to impact your health so much, so you are there for your children, your spouse, and you know, because that's the most important thing, really. And then everything else then is secondary. Everything else is secondary. Money comes, money goes. What we have is health is wealth, right? We have to start with our health.
Absolutely. On a spiritual level, can I just make a point? We are pushed because it's easier to look at other people and judge. I'm talking about on a spiritual level and point fingers. So when Nabila said shadow work, made me think that, yes, the things like fear, self-doubt, anger, jealousy, these are on the rise at the moment, because not just for this lockdown, we have this retrograde happening with the moon cycle. If the moon can shift the ocean, we are 60 to 70% water, so it does play an effect. So everything, the whole combination is really working out. For some people, they might think that, okay, it's not affecting us as much, but it is affecting all of us. Those who already experience anxiety, depression, stress, these days is going to be higher, much stronger. So that's why all of us are like saying that please get in touch. Let's work on this together, because we are in this together, and we can understand and share each. This is the reason we are sharing each other's experiences. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, even if it's just a conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead. No, I was just going to say, just be mindful about the time, that we came up with, and like the other times where it was conversational, this time would like to share in a short version of techniques that that it can help overcome anxiety whenever it arises. Simple, easy to use, so that you can, utilize them in your day-to-day and help yourself as well as your loved ones by passing on those techniques. I'm sure that between Nadia, Samira, and myself, you could be left with few tools in hand to be able to face your reality with, with tools in hand to be able to overcome whatever anxiety and fears that might arises. So I don't know, how do you like to, if one of you can start first, but you were going to say something before we start the practice. We're left with a good 20 minutes for.
No, I think it's just a matter of, I think just making sure that we are taking care of ourselves emotionally, mentally, and seeing that as the first and foremost. And everything else, I said, is secondary nature. One of the tools that we need to have, because, and some people may have seen this before, some people may not. But the thing is, the more we talk about this, I was saying also about the fact that we are of service, and that people can message us. They can message us at Just Be, or they can message us and then just say that they just want to have a quick chat. Just even a conversation sometimes may help someone, right? And we're happy to do that, right? And just allay any fears, just reframe somebody. Happy to do that. That's not a problem at all. And it won't take long. So in terms of, techniques, one of the techniques I feel that I would like to use is that it's about when you're dealing with a problem. So the first things I would say to you is, firstly, do a breathing technique. Any breathing you would do. One I would suggest is a guy called Wim Hof, which is a fantastic technique, or any yogic breathing technique would be powerful. Any meditation we can do, so you can control your mind. But as I said, think of an objective that you want to hit by the end of the 2020, no matter what you're going through right now, that you're basically want to focus on that objective, and focus on that rather than what's going on right now, because we're not sure what's going to happen as and when going to happen. So focus on what you want to achieve and focus on that. And obviously saying powerful affirmations. I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm resilient, I can cope with anything easily and effortlessly. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is that there's a technique where you can, when we're stressed, the blood flows back to the back of the brain. And when we're like that, the brain scrambles and it can't think of a solution. And so what you should do, and what you can do, I suggest, is like put your hand up here and put the hand at the back of your head like this. And think of the problem you have. And think about, well, okay, I've, been made redundant. What do I do next? Or I'm dealing with a very difficult situation, whatever situation it is. How can I look at this differently? What can I come up in terms of a solution? And sit there thinking about it, holding your hand, first palm of your hand on your forehead like this, and the back here. What happens is the blood starts to flow at the front of the front lobe here, and your brain starts to start thinking creatively. And so even when you're stressed, when you're actually doing that, you can then start thinking creatively and come up with solutions. And so any problem you may have, you start holding like this and ask the questions to yourself, how can I look at this differently? What solutions can I come up with? And go through them. And before you know it, you'll start coming up with ideas that you can actually then, even if it's a one idea, they can think, okay, I'm going to try this now, and help you move forward a little bit. It helps you remain calm. It helps you remain relaxed. So you can actually, by you taking action, is going to help you deal with the anxiety better anyway. So that's my technique, I would suggest.
So Nadia, what are few tips and rituals that you could?
I think the simplest one for people, I'm wearing this headset, I will try to move it and show it, is the humming sound. You close your eyes, and again, this is from yogic meditation and breathing. So you just close the ears, close your eyes, keep your focus at one point.
We can practice with you right now.
Okay. All right. So
you can go. Thank you. How long would this take? Like
it's
5?
just 2 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, so just close your eyes, put your focus at one point. Don't move your, for the newbies, don't move your eyes. Just keep it as if you're reading a book with your eyes closed. And then put your fingers on your ears. Put them later on once you hear the instructions. And just breathe in with your nose. And then as you are breathing out, make a humming sound like complete exhale. That breathe in and then so by doing that, it will immediately calm you down, bring your BP level down, and relax your mind with all these thoughts. Even if these thoughts are coming in, just tell them, okay, not now. Just keep your focus on your humming. So breathe in, and then and then exhale, last exhale. So it is said that it will, if you do this 5 minutes per day, you will be relaxed for at least 2 hours. Your mind, if you do it right. So please make a habit of practicing this in the morning or anytime. As many, and it doesn't have any number. You can do as many times as you want. So right away, you will calm down, relax, and go on with your day. So this is my technique. One of my techniques.
Ladies, there's an emotional technique that you can also practice when the fear comes and is too strong, that can actually arises as a panic attack or any fear that is very strong and you're not able to overcome it and quiet down. You intend, so it's basically rubbing the karate chop where most of the muscle, yeah. So you rub your side of the hand, the karate chop, and you repeat the following sentence. Even though, let's say, I would address the fear of the unknown as a fear. Even though I'm afraid of the unknown right now.
Afraid of the unknown right now.
Yet I choose to. Heal and integrate. That part of me.
That part of me.
I love myself.
I love myself.
Accept myself. Fully and completely. Then you put both your hands on your chest and take 7 deep breaths through your nose. Then you repeat the same sentence. I will say it out loud. Even though
Even
I'm
though
afraid of the unknown right now.
I'm afraid of the unknown.
I'm afraid of the unknown right now.
Yet I choose to.
Yet I choose
I
to
choose to
Heal and integrate.
heal and integrate
That part of me.
that part of me.
that part of me.
I love myself.
I love
I
myself.
love myself.
Accept myself.
I love myself
I love
And I
myself
accept myself deeply and completely.
deeply and completely.
and completely.
Then again, 7 times, deep breathing. And then you repeat the sentence 3 times. So we've done it now twice. So 3 times the sentence while rubbing your karate chop, and then 7 times breathing. So it's a series of 3 sentences, 3 times the sentence, and 3 times the 7 times breathing. And you just do it, and it decreases completely. And one of the exercises that you could do during this exercise is to rate your fear from 0 to 10, 10 being the maximum. And let's say if the maximum fear rate is 8 out of 10, then you do the exercise, you do the series of 3 sentences and 7 times breathing. And then you check, how am I feeling? How strong is the fear right now on a scale from 0 to 10? And say now it has decreased by 6 instead of 8, and you continue the work till it goes to 0, and it works, and it's very, very effective. I use it with most of my clients when they have a fear issue situations. So that's one of the techniques. There are so many more that we could share with you. So Samira and Nadia were offering their help. Thank you for being there and holding the space around in Just Be, for the Just Be family, and being there for our community. That's the intention. We will continue doing more of that and be there for each other in whatever way possible. I am just checking if there are any questions to address. Is there any last words before we have come to the end of the panel? Is there any last few words before the end of the conference that we'd like to share, ladies?
I think just I would say again is reiterate about gratitude, reframing the situation, and taking care of your own well-being, emotional, mental, and taking care of of each other.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Any last words before the panel?
I would like to add 1 or 2 books. People can buy the Anxiety and Phobia Workbook. I don't have the access to type that. We can maybe give them the...
You can connect on the comments and add all the references.
Yes. And the other one is The Highly Sensitive Person. So these 2 books I would like, because the first one, it will give you all these exercises to do, to really work on yourself. So, okay, so I will add those books.
Yes, please.
And last words, let's stay connected. Let's help each other. Let's be kind to each other. Let's be understanding. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much.
And for more to come,
Yeah.
the platform is coming up, inviting all these beautiful souls that are being at service with their beautiful hearts to offer whatever services that can help definitely more than ever in such an era. We do it with love, we're passionate, and we learn day by day by bettering of ourselves to start with, and being at service to others to shed the light in whatever way possible. So stay tuned for more to come. Other panels are coming up, and yes, a lot of gratitude for whomever was sharing this moment with us. I'm very grateful for being able to actually speak up and being heard, and you know, share whatever experience that I can share to help one another. And stay tuned, and take care of yourselves, and stay safe. Much love.
Thank you.
Thank you for today. And we'll be in touch. Much love to you both as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
End of the meeting.